guys, and welcome back to the channel. I've got another process video to share with you, and today I am doing it for Cheeky Studio. So this layout is a fun one because I did some mixed media, and as you can see, what I didn't show you is that I did some clear gesso on that white piece of cardstock because it was kind of a thin piece of cardstock, and I wasn't sure how it was going to hold up under the little spray that I was doing. And of course, I was doing the packaging technique there with some Tattered Angels, I think it's called Harvest Orange spray. Not sure if they still make it. I've had it in my stash for like forever. I was kind of like trying to water it down a little bit, and I made it a little too watery, so I just poured some of it off into a small little spare water bottle cap that I had. And then I just, you know, took the rest that was on the package, that spare piece of package, and just kind of smushed it onto my dried gessoed white piece of cardstock. And then I took my paper towel and rolled it to kind of help it dry and get that color in there. It's a very shiny color. I'm going to add a little bit of splattering there just because I like the way the splatters look. And you can never have, if there's anything that I've learned with mixed media, it's that you can never have too much mixed media because obviously you're going to be putting things on top of it. And so you want to make sure that you have enough so that you can still see what you've done. So while I was waiting for it to dry, I was kind of creating my clusters of where the paper was going to, so I knew where the paper was going to go, where my photo was going to go, just kind of so that I had that ready, and I knew where the placement should be of everything. I didn't want to kind of lose the idea that I had in my mind. So I kind of did all of that sort of off camera, off the page. The photo that I'm using is one of my daughter and a friend's daughter. We meet up with them every so often just for coffee and like a muffin or something. And this was the first time that my daughter was, I guess, really kind of walking on her own. And so the two girls were kind of like off their seats and interacting really. And I was trying to get a picture of the two of them. And my daughter at the time was like, she wasn't even 1.5 yet, and the other little girl was about 2 years older than my daughter. So the older child was much better at taking direction about posing for a photo than my child. So the best picture that I could get of the two of them was the photo that you'll see. It's just them kind of looking at each other. My kid isn't interested in looking at the camera at all. She just wants to color. And she's trying to give a crayon to the other little girl. So I just thought it was kind of a sweet photo. Obviously not the photo that I was hoping for, but you know, I was gonna go with it. And I pulled some very old Cosmo Cricket tags and this sort of banner ephemera piece. I don't even know where it came from. I've had it in my stash forever, and it said "Together." And I just sort of liked the colors of the orange and the yellows and the browns together. And I thought that they would go really well with the Cheeky Studio Easter 2018 collection because that collection has some oranges and blues and browns in it. It's a gorgeous collection, and it's so versatile. I've used it for my Easter photos, but I've also been able to use it for so many other photos as well. I really, really like it. So I haven't broken it out yet, but I'm just kind of trying to figure out the placement of these tabs. I went through kind of a phase where I was really into doing this particular layout where I had like a ribbon or some patterned paper or something, you know, going down the center, and then I was doing like the photos and the ephemera pieces kind of off center around the ribbon or the paper. So that's what I was playing with here in terms of the design. The paper that was in the center was just some scrap paper. The blue is Recollections. The brown is actually Coordinations cardstock that I actually won it a long time ago, and I at the time was like, I don't know what to do with it. It's like textured. You're supposed to like sand it down or tear it, which I did some tearing there, as you can sort of see. It's kind of covered up, but I finally decided I was going to use it for this layout. So here I've pulled some of the Easter 2018 ephemera. I've got a flare piece there too. The flare buttons are really cool. and I'm just trying to figure out where I kind of want to put them. I really like all those feather pieces. They look really, really nice. One of the tags I have, I even think it has like some leafy, feathery looking pieces on it, so I thought those would be kind of perfect. And then the Easter sequins are very blue, which are gorgeous. I love that blue sequin mix. But I am going to end up adding in a different sequin mix along with those blues, just because I wanted to get a couple more colors. So I'll get to that in a second. I'm just, thank goodness, before I adhere this beautiful little sort of bouquet down, I decided I don't like it there, which is good because the adhesive that I'm using is not very restickable. I'm realizing that maybe I should rethink the placement of everything. So I have some that sunshine word sticker, that's old Cosmo Cricut that I've had in my stash for like forever. So I'm realizing that I need to move that little bouquet thing down there, bring the sunshine sticker up, move the flare up, move some of the ephemera pieces over. So it's a work in progress, you know, even when you think that you have everything placed where you want it placed, sometimes you're just constantly moving stuff around. So I'm glad, but I am glad that I hadn't stuck anything down before I went, ooh, I made a mistake, because it's a lot easier to move things around before they're stuck. So one of that hello tab had a little hole in it, so I just kind of tried to put that feather piece in the hole. And I'm using my Xyron sticker maker, which you've probably seen before in a lot of these scrapbook process videos. I find that it's just, for some of those smaller ephemera pieces, it's just so much easier to basically turn them into stickers than to try to take like my tape runner or whatever other kind of adhesives that I'm using and try to, you know, get into those like small corners and whatnot to really get the whole thing to stick down properly. The Xyron just works so much better. Yeah, so the extra sequins mix that I add in is the Pink and Cream Bouquets sequins mix. And I like that one a lot because it's got some of like the brown and orangey tones that I was going for. I looked at the Furry Friend sequins mix. It was a little too pinky, but there's that Pink and Cream Bouquets sequins mix. It does have some greens in it, but I just chose to work with kind of like that dark maroony color and sort of a, I guess, shiny creamy-ish color, just because I thought that those colors worked a little bit better. And I still added those blues because obviously I had blues in the layout, and I'm just going to sprinkle them here and there just to give a little bit of extra color. I think there were, pardon my big head, there were some splatters from the misting spray, and I used those. Wow, my head is so giant. I used those splatters as sort of a guide as to where I was going to place those sequins. That kind of helped a little bit. And I'm not adhering them right now. I'm just trying to figure out the placement. I find that that's helpful if I place the sequins first and then I go back and stick them. I do have to remember, like put a finger down, okay, the sequin was here, and then I stick with the other hand the sequins onto the glue dot, and then I go back where my finger was and stick it down. But there you go. I made it work. So these are the close-ups. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I've got links below to the Cheeky Studio website. Use my discount code to save 10%, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.